What is going on, everybody on YouTube? Max Rock here with a brand new video, and this is going to be a first 48 for the Huawei Elate, or am I saying that right? Yeah, Elate. Got this device here a couple days ago, obviously, first 48, for the price of $64.99. After I returned the Alcatel Post Mix, video should be on the channel about that one. Not the best experience with that device. I'm gonna leave it at that because this video is about this phone here. This phone, like I said, was at $64.99. It's a pretty good phone, actually a really good phone, especially for the money. Give me a second here. Let me go ahead, get the brightness up a little bit. It has a 5.5 inch 720p display. The screen is actually really good here in this phone. Surprisingly good. Like, I'm talking like really surprising for it to be 64 bucks or 70 bucks after taxes. And as far as the specs on this thing, it's pretty good as well. So we go to CPU-Z here and show you. It's running the 435 octa-core. As you can see, it's clocked at 1.4 gigahertz, 8 cores, as you can see, with the Adreno 506 or 505, excuse me. And for the phone here, oh, got an advertisement, sorry guys. You see that we got a, like I said, a 720p display, 268 for the pixel density, 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigabytes of internal storage. Available out the box is 9.6 or 9.06. Right now, what I have available is 3.12, because you know, applications and everything that you got to install. It is running Android 7.0. Security patches from May. Wait, is that May? Or is that July? I believe that's May. Hold on, let's double check. If you ever have a question, just go to your software. Yep, it's for July 2017. So, security patches from July 2017, so definitely outdated. The battery itself is 4,000 milliamp hours. Pretty big battery in this phone. Definitely can last you all day. Haven't really got too crazy screen on time numbers. The crazy thing about it is I only had to charge this phone once. And with the consumption level, because that's how it's labeled here, consumption level. As of right now, today, I got 1 hour and 4 minutes, and I'm at 79% battery. So I obviously haven't been using this phone here that much. The only thing I really did with it so far is go outside and take a bunch of pictures, things like that. No big deal. But yeah, the phone itself has a 12 megapixel camera in the back with LED flash, 8 megapixel camera in the front, no LED flash. Both cameras are capable of shooting 1080p video. On the bottom, you see you get a micro USB charging port. On the right side of the phone, looking at the bottom of it, this is the speaker, this is the microphone. And on the top of the device, as you can see, you get a headphone jack. Get that to focus a little better. You get a headphone jack, and then you get a noise canceling mic over here. And that's pretty much it. The phone itself is constructed of, well, it has plastic and metal. As you can see, it has a nice white front and two-tone in the back with Cricket branding as well. And I can show you here on the right side of the device. You do get your power and volume up and down keys. The power button is not rigid, so if that matters to you, it's one of those phones that doesn't have a rigid button. But you should be able to tell the difference because one is smaller and one is bigger. Pretty simple. So first things first, the phone itself performs excellent. The processor in it, which is the Snapdragon 435, is pretty snappy for it to be a budget processor. No complaints about it at all. It opens up apps quite easily, fluently. There's really no complaints about it. It's way better than the Alcatel Post Mix. I don't want to turn this into a slander fest, but that phone was just not, it was not a good phone at all. It just wasn't. With this phone here, yeah, as far as, like for example, let me give you guys an example. You know, when you get a new phone, you set the phone up, put your applications on it, all that other stuff, right? I had no lag with this phone here. So when I was installing all applications that, you know, that I usually install on my phones, when I was installing it, I had no lag. So think about that. Not so many phones can actually give you that. And for it to be a budget phone. Now maybe, am I over exaggerating? Probably, but the phone itself, it seemed like it was just flying through everything. For it to be a 435, I was really impressed. The cameras on this device, another thing that's pretty surprising. The cameras on this phone are actually really, really good. Both of them shoot 1080p video. Like I said, 1080p recording. Pictures are pretty good as well. I can take a picture of this bad boy here. This is the Honor 6X. Let's take a picture of this one here. Let's see. All right, and we can take a look at this photo really quickly. And it's hard to really tell the detail through the phone screen, but it's not the most crisp photo, but for the phone to be 64 bucks, it's pretty good. The video quality is pretty good. The microphone quality is pretty good as well. And yeah, you can't really complain about it. So if you really care about selfies and all that, rear pictures, this camera is really good. And you got to keep in mind that the phone itself is $64 plus taxes, 70 bucks. And it's on Cricket. You could probably get it unlocked easily. Really good phone here. Can't complain. Also, another positive thing about this device here is when it comes to Wi-Fi, it has both the 2.4 gigahertz band and the 5 gigahertz band. 65 bucks. Can't get over that. 65 bucks, y'all. Phone, like I said, it's 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigabytes of internal storage. It has an SD card slot for expandable storage. So you can put an SD card in there, expand your memory. It does not have adaptable storage. Yeah, so it has an SD card for adaptable storage. Sorry guys, had to pause the video for a second. But positive thing here, headphone jack. Because a lot of phones these days, whether they're flagship or sometimes even budget phones, don't have a headphone jack. It has a headphone jack. It's pretty good. Has a noise canceling mic, all that good stuff. Probably one of the best things about this phone is the actual build itself. It looks cool. It looks like it costs more than it actually does. Now, can't get it confused when you turn it over. Clearly says Cricket in the back, but it is one of the most unique Cricket phones I've seen, only because it is two-tone in the back. You get your white plastic on the top and your metal in the middle, which is interesting. Never seen a phone like that from Cricket, especially with it being a Huawei device. So, what else can I discuss? I threw my SIM card in this phone for about a couple hours or so when I first got it. I took a couple phone calls, sent a couple text messages. Connection with the network is just fine. Although it did have the worst signal of all the phones that I do carry around. So let's say I had a SIM card in this phone, the 6X. As you can see, get that focused. I got full coverage right now, 4 bars. If I had the SIM card in this phone here, I'd probably have 1 bar sitting in the same exact spot. That could be a problem. It can be. But at the same time, it's whatever. Inside your house, it shouldn't really matter. If you have Wi-Fi, you should be okay. But let's go ahead and get into the Geekbench here. So, Geekbench 4. I did a couple tests last night. Probably too many, but I like doing Geekbench tests, especially when the phone is like pretty snappy. You just want to see exactly, what can the numbers be? What can the numbers possibly be? Looks like Geekbench is having trouble loading up here. It's always doing that sometimes. It does that with all my phones. It's kind of weird. So let me pause the video and get this pulled up. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So I got Geekbench here pulled up. You can see it's 4 cores at 1.4 gigahertz and 4 cores at 1.09. So I hit up the history, and we can look at the scores here. So these are done yesterday here. Got a single core score of 648, multi-core of 2868, and that's with the Huawei Elate here. And then the second score was 648 as well for the single core, and a little bit less than the multi-core in the last one. Got 2854, and then for the third one here, which was yesterday. So these are a couple days ago. This is yesterday, or technically in the morning, like very late. Single core is 650 and multi-core score is 2852. So as far as Geekbench goes, pretty good for a 435. Pretty good for a 435 octa-core. So let's go into a 2.2 benchmark. Can't really expect too much with a 2.2 benchmark. It's only a 435 processor. So the actual score is 43,981. I think that's my second highest score. Let me see. I think my Huawei 6X got a little lower actually. Maybe it's higher. Oh, excuse me. That was the first test I saw. Mistake. 55,434. So completely wrong about that. So that's the actual Antutu benchmark score there for the Huawei Elate, 43,081. And overall, this phone itself has been very surprising to me. I'm actually happy with this purchase, unlike the last phone that I had. So that's pretty much gonna sum it up here for the first 48. Don't really have anything else to say. I can't really give you too much of a detailed look at the battery because I haven't really used it enough to actually drain it and see how many hours of screen on time I can get. Haven't really ran into any lag and issues with the phone itself. So as far as a full review, that's gonna take some time because you gotta really put a phone through its paces. So be sure to like the video if you haven't liked the video already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. Leave a comment if you want to see anything specific with this phone going up against any of these other phones that I have in front of me, including the S6 that I'm shooting this video with now, and I'll be happy to do that for you. But until then, I want to say, of course, thank you for watching this video. As you do know, my name is Max the Rock, and you have a good day. Deuce.